Hello and welcome. I'm your host Ruby Gill and I feel honored to welcome you all on the behalf of lovely professional university. So attendees, what do you think the sense of this webinar? Well, I'm glad to share with much excitement that today our expert will deliver his expertise and make us learn about smartphone filmmaking. So I'm sure you are as excited as I am for today's webinar. So kindly allow me to introduce our experts. Mr. Amir Abdullah, Additional Dean, Department of Film Production, Lovely Professional University. An intellectual professional with an experience of 20 years in industry, film and television as well. His expertise lies in direction. So, sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Ruby.
Further, I would like to welcome Mr. Sameer Kumar Rana, Assistant Professor, Department of Film Production, Lovely Professional University, a young and zestful personality who is a photographer and cinematographer with an experience of more than 15 years. His expertise lies in fiction and non-fiction photography, and he has been a part of many feature-length films as an assistant cinematographer and has credits in many award-winning short films, ad films, and music videos as director of photography. So, sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me.
Thanks, sir. Furthermore, we have our admission expert, Ms. Neeraj Sharma, Senior Officer, Lovely Professional University. With an experience of 15 years, his expertise lies in business development, marketing, and product promotion. And today, attendees, he'll give you the insight of eligibility fee and scholarship, which I'm sure will make you save a lot of money. And in addition to that, he'll also be sharing the infrastructure part of the university. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
With this, we'll begin today's webinar. I welcome you all once again and looking for a great interactive session. So over to you, Amin sir, for the content of the day.
Thank you, Ruby ji. First of all, on behalf of the Department of Film Production, Lovely Professional University, I welcome you all to this special workshop on smartphone filmmaking, where one of our most highly experienced faculty member is going to take you through the tricks of the trade of smartphone filmmaking, how to light up a model for a smartphone filmmaking. Now, I'm sure everybody watches films. Everybody has grown up watching films. Everybody loves watching films. But have you ever wondered what goes behind the scene of in production of a film? I say it's one of the most beautiful process. It's the most exciting process where you encounter something new each time you go on a shoot or on the edit. I can assure you, the moment you take your first shot, the moment you join your first shot, you will fall in love with the process of filmmaking. It's that exciting. Without any further delay, I would request our faculty member, Sameer Rana, who is an experienced DOP cinematographer, to take us through this workshop on smartphone filmmaking. Over to you, Sameer.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So before I start with the webinar on smartphone filmmaking, let's first understand what filmmaking is, and let's understand what is filmmaking and why filmmaking. What is it all about? So let's first talk about humans. Like we humans express ourselves or communicate with each other in a variety of modes like speech, writing, pictures, actions, and etc. etc. Now each of these modes is called language. So filmmaking is also one of the most important language. We can call it a universal language, which is understood in every part of the world. When we talk about language, students, all of us know that every language has its own grammar. Every language that we speak has a grammar, and it is very important to understand the grammar, because I cannot take you directly into filmmaking without making you guys understand about the grammar of the visual grammar that we actually call it. So film also has a grammar, has its own grammar that we need to understand. It is very easy. Now we need to understand that the term film grammar is best understood as a creative metaphor for things used to tell a story visually. Now, I think everybody of us, we understand that what is a grammar? Grammar is basically a set of conventions for stringing words together so that it effectively communicates idea, expression, and so many things. So when we talk about film grammar is basically how visual ideas are strung together to tell stories. Okay, so now when we talk about film grammar, let me share my screen. I hope the screen is visible. Yeah.
Yes, it is, sir. Your screen is
Yeah.
visible to everyone.
Yeah. So when we talk about the grammar that we use for film as a language, it is the visual parts of speech. We call it a frame, the shot, the scene, and the sequence, which ultimately makes a film. So here we are comparing film as a language with any other language. We are comparing a film with a book. For an example, if I talk about, I'll just compare all of these with the language, any other language. The frame, a frame. A frame is analogous to a letter. If we are comparing the film grammar with any other grammar, a frame is analogous to a letter. Now, when we talk about the shot can be compared with a sentence. The scene can be compared with a paragraph. And the sequences that can be compared with an essay, which altogether makes a film. So, as I said, a frame is a single still image, which is compared with a letter. The shot is the basic unit of a film. It is a single view of a camera of some person, some object, some action, and the shot is over when a new image replaces it. The scene is a series of shots taken in some location during the same period, same time. Now, multiple cameras can be used. The sequence is a series of the scenes having a common bond. So this is very important for us to first of all understand what film is. Then only we can, smartphone is a device that the fundamentals remain same. So whether you're using a smartphone or whether you is using a cinema camera or a DSLR, the fundamental always remains same. Okay. Now, now when I've introduced you to the shorts, there are few basic type of shorts that we must understand. And then we need to understand the extended version of those basic short types. Okay, because for filmmaking, having the knowledge of all the short types is very must. It is very important for even for the smartphone filmmaking, or if you are using a cinema camera, whatever it is, like it is very must for you to understand these short types. Now, talking about short types, there are three basic short types. One is the first one that we call as the long shot. I think that you can see in this slide. The long shot is the shot when we frame our subject, a human or any object, from his or her head till the toes. The complete full shot is called a long shot. The medium shot, when we frame our subject from a head till the waist. And then the close-up. The close-up can be a close-up of any part, can be eye, can be nose, can be ear, can be mouth, or anything. Right? These are the basic shot type, which makes a scene. Because in order to create a scene, we use multiple shot types, and then we create a scene, right? Shots are basically, students, it's a kind of a perspective. It's a kind of a very, it gives you a very unique perspective into looking into something, some object, some subject, or anything, right? So long shot, medium shot, and close up. Now let's talk about the extended version of the shot types. The extended version of shot types would be extreme long shot, as you can see in this picture, medium long shot, medium close up, and then extreme close up. I hope everybody can see these pictures here. Extreme long shot, which gives the audience an extreme view of any subject, any space, any object, right? Medium long shot is a shot between the long and the mid shot, where you frame your subject from the head till the knees. An extreme close-up can be the extreme close-up of any part, any subject. So these are the basic shot types. These are the basic shot types. Okay. Now, I think we should, I will now call one of my colleague who can be my model, and then I will explain you, I will show you how these shots can be framed. Okay. So I request you, ma'am, please. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. No, we'll go for the long shot. Sir. Okay. Ruby ma'am, if you can confirm the screen is visible and the model is visible to
Yes,
you
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and to the students? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah. So this is an example of a long shot, or you can call it a full shot also, right? Now we'll go to the medium shot. Yeah, little focus. Perfect. So this is an example of a medium shot when the model is sitting on a chair. So this could be the medium shot. Now we'll go to a close-up. Yeah. This is more close-up. That's it. Fine. Okay. Little till down, sir. So this is an example of a close-up. So these are the example of the basic shot types: the long shot, medium shot, and the close-up. Okay. So these are basically different perspective that you can give to your viewer who is looking into your scene, a subject, or a space. So this applies to anything. Then the extended version are here, like we cannot demonstrate it much in this setup because extreme, it can be example like in whole sea a single boat is visible, right? In a desert a camel is walking. In an extreme long shot the convoy of the soldiers are moving. So these are a few examples of the extreme long shot. Okay, I hope students are getting, the viewers are getting whatever we are trying to explain here. Now we'll move to some of the basics and the things that you need to know about smartphone filmmaking, because as I said that the fundamental, whether you are using a DSLR, a cinema camera, or a mobile camera or a smartphone, the fundamentals about filmmaking remains same. The basic fundamental remains same. Okay, now let's understand. Now, what are the basic things that you need to know? First of all, when, like, I think everybody has smartphone with them. Everybody has a smartphone with them. Now, what are the things that you need to keep in your mind when you're filming using your smartphone? The first thing that you need to consider is that you have to think about the manual control. I know that when you switch to your camera mode in your smartphone, it will be switched to an automatic camera mode, right? But there is an option. There is an option given in any camera, in any mobile devices, whether it is an Apple or whether it is an Android based camera. So in setting, you can find a full manual control. Now, why manual control? Why I'm talking about manual control? Because in auto mode, if your camera is switched into an auto mode, so wherever you will move, the camera sensor will adjust it according to the light it is sensing. So it can get overexposed, underexposed, the exposure won't remain same. If you are moving with your camera within auto mode, it will focus to anything that your sensor is sensing, right? You will not be able to have a selective focus. So it is advisable that if you have a smartphone, if your smartphone application interface has an option to manually control it, it's good. If it doesn't have, then what you can do is you can download an application. There are many applications available in over internet, over the application Google, from wherever you can download it. So one application that I would like to suggest is the Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is an application which can convert your normal smartphone camera into a kind of an interface where you will have a full control, full manual control over your frames and whatever projects that you do. Full manual control, right? So Filmic Pro is an application. I'll just show you the application in my mobile. If I'll try that if it is visible. So this is I have that application here, and I'll just open this application. And this is a very useful application for mobile phone filmmakers. And I think you will be surprised to know that many Oscar winning directors, they are also using this application to film their project. I know it is little, there's a lot of reflection that is visible, but I'm just going to give you a glimpse of this application. This is how this application looks. The interface of this application looks, and this is available both for Apple as well as for the Android phones. The cracked version of this application is also available in Google. You can easily download it. You just need to search for Filmic Pro. Now, what is the best thing about this application is that you will be able to control the exposure. You will be able to select the focus. You can lock the focus. You can even control your white balance. You can even control the white balance using this application. Now, those who are not aware of what white balance, what exposure are, what exposure are. So here I would like just to give you a brief about what exposures are, what white balance is. Very quick. See, exposure in a very generic, in a very general term, it is the brightness and the darkness of your image, right? Let's understand very easily. It is the brightness and the darkness of your image, which can be controlled by three elements which controls the exposure, that is, the first is the shutter, second is the aperture, and third one is the ISO. The shutter, let me show you an exposure triangle. My screen is visible.
No, sir.
Is it visible, ma'am?
No, sir.
Acha, can you give me the rights once again to share my screen?
Give me a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it is, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the three factors which controls the exposure, that means the brightness and the darkness of your image, doesn't matter that you're using an DSLR or the smartphone filmmaking. So the three factors are the shutter, ISO, and aperture. So this is okay. Now, very quickly, I'll tell you that what shutter do, what aperture do, and what ISO do. You will get all the setting if you are using this Filmic Pro app in your mobile for smartphone filmmaking. Now, what shutter do is shutter controls the time for which your sensor is getting exposed towards the light. Okay, for how much time that your sensor is taking the light, because light is a key element for photography, for cinematography. Light is very important. If there is light, then only your camera can see. If there's no light, your camera can't see. So you need to control the light using three elements, these three factors. Shutter controls the time. Aperture controls the amount of light which is entering inside the camera through the lens and the sensor, which ultimately creates an image. Now ISO is the sensitivity of your sensor. ISO is the sensitivity of your sensor, how sensitive your sensor is towards the light, because sensor is the ultimate point where the image will be created. Now all these things are all together forms an exposure triangle. Okay, I'm not going to too much of detail here, right? So just understand this for now. Now the third thing is, which is very important here, is the composition. Composition. What is composition? Composition is very must when you're making a film, because your frame is trying to tell a story. So what composition is all about? Composition is basically how you are composing or placing all the visual elements, how you are arranging them in your frame, how you are arranging all those various ingredients inside your frame, that it gives a sense of balance. So composition is also one thing that you need to consider when you are filming. Okay, white balance. I have spoken about white balance. White balance is something you can control if you are using this application called Filmic Pro in your mobile, and I think white balance can also be controlled in some of the phones, some of the high-end version phones, where the options for controlling white balance is there. White balance is nothing but to eliminate unnatural color cast from your subject that you're filming. Okay, so these are the basic things. The first one is that always think about manual control. Second is you must use some app like Filmic Pro if you wanted to have a complete control over your phone, over your camera, and you wanted to use a camera like a film camera, you can use an application like Filmic Pro. Then you need to consider composition. You need to check whether your focus is right. You're focusing on the subject. You need to see whether your exposure is okay. Okay, so I think about exposure you understood. ISO, aperture, shutter speed, this all elements can control your exposure. And then the white balance. If your picture is casting some unnatural color, you can white balance it using the application. So I'm going to just show you how this application actually looks. This is how this application looks, and this is very helpful. This is a very brilliant application that many filmmakers are using. I'll just zoom it and show it to you. So this is how you can see the settings, like the settings for frame rate, the setting for audio, the setting for presets, even this can also work in auto, but you can switch into the manual mode if you are working, if you wanted to have a full control over the exposure and other aspects. So that's it. And about the production, now talking about post production, I think whatever you are shooting can be easily edited using various softwares in application like Filmora, I think, and there are other applications by Filmic also, which is available in Play Store. There itself you can edit your film, cut your film, join them into a sequence. Remember the grammar that I've talked about, the frame, shots, scenes, sequences. So all these basic things that you can apply, and you can create your own film in your phone itself. So that is it from my side. I think I have given you an overview about a smartphone filmmaking. I know the filmmaking is a very vast topic, but I hope that I have given you some overview about it. So I would like to give this podium back to Madam.
Thank you so much,
Ruby.
sir, for intensifying and magnifying the knowledge of our attendees. And after this, I believe attendees will be proficient in smartphone filmmaking and will sparkle with this gained expertise. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, with this, we have few queries from our attendees. So, with your permission, we'll take up those queries, sir.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, sir, there is a query from Sean Shaji. He wants to know that can you please mention some of the good apps that helps us to study films and related to films?
So if I talk about apps, I don't know there's an app to study film, but yes, there are some books that I can suggest to you. That there are 5 C's of cinematography. That I think this is a wonderful book, 5 C's of cinematography, that you can refer to. Then there is a book called In the Blink of an Eye for the editing. And likewise, there are many books which are, I think, available, like Practical and Theoretical Aspects of Cinematography by Blaine Brown. So these are the books. Plus, if they wanted to learn filmmaking, I think they can do a very short time course in Udemy or Coursera also. There are wonderful courses on smartphone filmmaking which are available there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up another query. So there's another query from Gursimranjit Singh. He wants to know that we'll be able to use the equipments during the course, or we need to buy them. What all you have demonstrated just now.
What I feel as a film educator is the only two equipments I think every film student needs to have is a simple basic camera and a laptop. That's it. Other things, we as an institute, I think we have ample amount of equipments here using which a student can actually make their films. So we have enough equipments here. Like we have, I think, more than 12 DSLRs we have. We have a film camera. We have like lights. So many things that we have here. So the only two things are a laptop and a basic DSLR camera that they need to have.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So we have Amir sir also with us. So Amir sir, being an additional dean of the department, I would like you to answer this question. So Amir sir, can we have you on board? Yes, sir. So, sir, there's a query from an attendee named Tanzan. He wants to know that what is required from a student pursuing a course in film production during placements. What all
Well,
skills student need to possess?
what is required from a student who wants to pursue a course in film production?
To
Well,
complete the course.
the
Yes,
courses,
sir.
especially the courses that we have a bachelor's degree in filmmaking. So obviously the basic requirement is that he should be he should have completed his 12th standard. So apart
So, sir,
from
the student those who have completed the course at LPU. So, what all skills he'll gain over here when he'll sit for the placement?
well, he would see the course is designed in a way that you learn direction, cinematography, editing, post-production. Now, all of these are uh, specializations of their own in the sense that you can either become a director, you can either become a cinematographer. So when you study the 3-year course in filmmaking, you have the option of becoming a filmmaker, a director, at the same time, because you've learned everything, so you can also, if you're, it depends on your inclination, if you're more inclined towards cinematography, you can pursue cinematography as a profession. Or if you are more inclined towards editing as, so you can take editing as a profession. So the sky is the limit if you talk about the opportunities after doing a course in filmmaking.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And completely agree with you that sky is the limit. And attendees, you need not to worry about it. You heard our mentorship that you can possess all the skills which are required for a good or better placements. So you need not to worry about your future. You have an excellent faculty over here. So, sir, we'll take up another query from Pawanam Diana. She wants to know that can I join LPU for the PhD course in mass communication and journalism? Sir, anyone of you can answer to this? Samir sir, Amir sir?
Yes, yes, I think there, yeah, the student can join for mass communication for PhD here. We have that.
Okay, all right,
The,
sir.
the domain
And
is different, but we do have.
okay. And Diana, we have our admission expert, Mr. Neeraj Sharma, with us, and he'll also throw some light on this if you would like to join PhD in mass communication and journalism. So before we move on to our admission expert, we'll take up last but not the least query from an attendee named Namita. Sir, she wants to know that will there be any kind of exposure to the students of real filmmaking setup like in the field with some famous directors? So will there any kind of tour arranged for the students?
Yes, Ruby, if you know, a lot of famous directors and technicians from the industry, they come to the Department of Film Production LPU every year to take workshops and guest lectures. And we've had in the past some very famous personalities, very famous uh, people from the industry who've taken guest lectures and workshops. So there'll be regular interaction with industry professionals, and there's always been a regular interaction. So yes.
Okay, sir. Samisa, would you like to add something to this?
No, actually, like as Amisha said, that we recently conducted a workshop by two of the European filmmakers from Europe, and one of the director, he's an Oscar-nominated director in documentary making. Apart from that, we also had a workshop with Mahesh Ane. Mahesh Ane is the director of photography for film like Swadesh, for which he got a national award. So we have a lot of interaction sessions with the industrial experts from industry.
That's wonderful to hear, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, Sami sir, for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And attendees, if you want to join the department, if you want these kind of exposure, so you have to take admissions in the department. So for that, we have our expert, Mr. Neeraj Sharma, with us. So he'll give you the detailed information. So, sir, over to you for the admission part of the university.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Sameer sir and Amit sir. It was really pleasure knowing all such details, right? But before we proceed with the presentation part, right, I would like to share some information related to university with the students, and later which we will switch on to the presentation part, right? So if you search on Google, now today we are India's largest private university in terms of area and number of students on a single campus. We have only one campus in India, and that is situated in Fagwara, very close to Jalandhar in Punjab. And it is such a huge campus that it is spread over more than 600 acres of land. So you can very well imagine such a huge campus where we have more than 30,000 students who are studying there, and they are from 50 different countries, right? So please just imagine people coming from 50 different companies to a single campus means we are far better in terms of placements, in terms of curriculum we are teaching, in terms of practical knowledge we are giving, in terms of facilities we have, and in terms of infrastructure and other facilities which we are providing to the students, we are far better. So if I talk about programs, we have more than 100 programs available with us, right? They're starting from 10th onwards diploma till post PhD. We have programs available with us, right? And if I talk about infrastructure, we do have a fabulous infrastructure available with us. Like in this more than 600 acres of land, we have our own mall situated in the campus. We have a very big hospital. We have separate hostel facilities for boys and girls, which are 100% secure. Then we have more than 100 food courts available. Then there is a very big indoor stadium where we have Olympic size swimming pool and other such facilities. We have banks, ATMs, post office, and you name the facility, you will get it within the LPU campus for your benefits. So now switching over to the presentation part. So I would request you guys to look at this and have a detailed information for this program, right? So on the very first slide, you can see that yes, LPU has broken the records because 13 of the LPU students participated in the Tokyo Olympic Games, which got postponed from 2020 to 2021. And we really feel proud to share that nearly 10% of the Indian Olympic participants at that time were LPU students. So none other than Neeraj Chopra, the heartthrob of India, right? Recently, he won a silver medal also in one of the games held in USA, right? So we really feel proud that all these students, they have been a part of LPU. Then another feather to a cap, LPU team has lifted runners-up trophy at Khelo India University Games, and none other than our Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, along with the Sports Minister, Mr. Anurag Thakur. They were the ones who awarded the runners-up trophy to LPU team at Khelo India University Games. Then coming to the rankings part, because these are very much essential nowadays, you need to know what is the ranking of LPU. So according to the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings of 2022, we stand at 74th position globally. It's a very good position. If I talk about globally, it's a first 75 positions, means we are at 74th. So if I talk about another ranking, which includes the Times Higher Education World University Rankings of 2022, we stand at 36th position among the top universities of India. And these universities include both government as well as private. And if I talk about subject-wise rankings, we are second in business and economics, we are 8th in clinical and health, 9th in computer science, and 10th in engineering and life sciences. Another ranking, adult rankings of institutions on innovation achievements, we stand at 3rd in India. Now coming to the campus life and exposures offered at LPU. So what a student can expect once he or she reaches the campus. So I'll just show the glimpses of that campus life here. You can see in this slide none other than our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. He was here with us in LPU to inaugurate the Indian Science Congress, which was held in 2019. Then we do have His Holiness Dalai Lama. Yes, he was here with us at one of our functions in LPU. Then you can see in this picture, these are the two former presidents, one former president of Afghanistan, another former president of India. They were the ones who shared the dice in LPU in one of the convocations. Then, of course, ex-Finance Minister of India, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, he was here with us, and he was the one who inaugurated the startup school of LPU. Then Gopal Gohar Das, the spiritual guru, you can see him here. He was here to share his life experiences with us, and he got interacted with the students and faculties and shared his life experiences, and students were enthralled to know his knowledge. So then if I talk about the Bollywood icons, then you can see in the picture Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, then Ranbir Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, you name the people, you'll find them to be a part of the events which are held in LPU. So you can very well understand, if such big personalities of India, they are coming to campus, it means something. Then campus life and exposure offered, you can see in the picture MS Dhoni, he was here with us, and he was the one who shared his life experiences with students and faculty members. Then talking about the infrastructure, then you can see in this picture, these are 14 back-to-back blocks available within the campus, and there is an open theater also, and it includes a library and of course the ECE department. And if I talk about the auditorium, it's such a big auditorium we have, which has a capacity of more than 2,500 people in one go. Then this is the mall I was talking about. This is a huge mall which is situated in the campus in LPU, and this is the inner view of the mall. So all such facilities which a student needs in day-to-day life, they are all available within the campus itself. Then this is the fully automated library which is functional 24/7 for the benefit of the students. Then some recreational facilities are also available for your good health, like we do have a bowling area, we have fully equipped this gymnasium and other things. Then this is the hospital we can talk about, right? We have a 25 bedded hospital including a dental chair which is available in the campus. This is the inner view of the hospital. Then a very big indoor stadium which I'm talking about, right? So we have an Olympic size swimming pool, we have facilities like badminton, volleyball, basketball, squash courts available here, and of course a gun shooting range is also available in this indoor stadium. This is the panoramic view of the university, the night view. So now moving to the main part, that if somebody is interested to get admission, as we were talking about, even the faculties who were talking about the admission part. So I would like to tell you that you need to go to a website which is lpu.in. This is the official website of LPU. So you need to go to lpu.in, and on the very first page you'll find a tab by the name admissions, right? So on the very first page, when you find a tab admissions, you need to click it, and here it will ask you whether you are looking for programs which are undergraduate or postgraduate or after PG or doctorate programs. So depending on your eligibility criteria and the area of interest in which you are interested, you need to click on that part and further proceed for details. Like if I'm looking for an undergraduate program, I'll click on this tab which is called regular programs. It will show you the different streams available with us under undergraduate programs, right? So if I'm interested for a particular stream, can be engineering, management, commerce, law, food technology. So depending on my area of interest, let's say if I'm interested in, today we were talking about film production and all. So if I'm interested in a particular program, so I'll click on that program, and accordingly I'll come to know which all programs are included in that particular area. Okay, so now if I talk about, let's say, film production, if I'm interested in journalism and film production, I'll click on this tab and I'll come to know that, okay, these are the programs which are available, and we do have a BA journalism and mass communication, which is a 3 years degree. We have BSc film and TV production. We have B design film and TV production, which is a 4 years degree. Let's say I'm interested in BSc film and TV production. So what I'll do is I'll click on this part, and in front of me I have all the details related to this program, right? So you can see in this, on the very first, you can see the eligibility criteria. So if I'm interested for this, I need to have 50% aggregate marks in 10+2 with English as a compulsory subject. Along with that, I'll either qualify LPU Nest, which is an in-house test of LPU, or I'll have to clear UC or undergraduate NID, DAT prelims, or undergraduate NIFT. So depending on the program, I'll have to qualify the test, and accordingly I'll proceed for admission. So once I'm done with this, I can check it out that what is the curriculum highlights, what minor open minors are available, industry interfaces are there, undergraduate research and study broad options are available in this program. Then even I need to know the curriculum details year-wise, that in first year, what are the subjects which are being taught here. So you can just go through in detail that in autumn term, these are the courses which will be taught to you. In spring term, these are the courses. And if I want to know about the second year, third year, accordingly, I can have each and every detail from this website. Okay, now coming to the elective parts offered in the curriculum. You can see here, these are the electives offered, right? Which starts from gaming, graphics, multimedia and web development, programming, sustainable energy, and so on. Then coming to the fee part. Now, if I'm interested, I need to know that what is the fee for this program. So fee is 1,20,000 per semester, which is a 6 months semester. So it is 1,20,000 without any scholarship. But don't worry, because we are giving very good scholarships, and these scholarships are divided into 3 different categories. You can call them category 3, category 2, and category 1. So let's say you have appeared for our LPU Nest test, and the score falls in bracket 3 or category 3. In that case, you will be given 28% scholarship, and the fee for you will be 86,400 per semester. Similarly, if you perform little bit better in the program and the score falls in bracket 2, in that case, 38% scholarship will be given, and the fee for you will be 74,400 per semester. And if you are lucky to get bracket 1, category 1, in that case 48% will be given to you, and the fee will be only 62,400 per semester. So this is one of the categories in which you can apply for scholarships. So there are other categories also, like somebody who's interested to get scholarship on the basis of 12th percentage. So we can give you scholarship on the basis of 12th marks also. So in case if your percentage falls between 80 to 89.99 in 12th, in that case you get 28% scholarship. And if the percentage falls between 90 to 94.99, you get 38% scholarship, right? And similarly, if the percentage is 95 and above, you get 48% scholarship. Again, we have another category depending on the national rankings or the percentile. So if you have applied for UC, right, in that case, we will look for your rank. If you are looking for NID, date, mains, then we look for your percentile. So again, depending on the national papers also, the national test also, you can claim your scholarship. But you need to remember one thing, that there can be a possibility that you are eligible for more than one categories of scholarship. Can be 2, can be 3 or 4. But in LPU, you will get only one scholarship, and that too which is highest. So somebody who is eligible for 3 different categories of scholarship will be given only one, and that too which is highest. The highest one will be given. And one good point in LPU is whatever scholarship you get in your very first semester, that gets carried forward for the complete program. If it's a 3 years degree, there will be 6 semesters. So if you get 48% of scholarship in your first semester, this 48% benefit will be given to you for the complete program. All 3 years, all 6 semesters, you will be getting a benefit of 48%. Now moving to the next part, right? You can just have a look at the details, the scholarship. There are other categories also, like on the basis of financial aids and other special categories through which scholarships can be won. So now you need to remember that how to apply for this. You have to go to our admission portal, which is admission.lpu.in. You have to register yourself first, and accordingly you will proceed for the test dates and all, and you will appear for the test, LPU test, and you will book the slot after paying the fee. The fee for that test is 1,000 for boys and 500 for girls, and accordingly you will appear for the exam. Once the exam result is out within 24 hours, you will have to proceed for admission immediately. Do remember the last dates, because these are very important. So all those students who are interested to join us, they need to apply for LPU Nest within 31st of July, which is the last day to apply for LPU Nest application. 31st July is the last day to apply for LPU Nest, and the last day to book your slot, right? Or you can appear for the exam by 5th of August. So last day to appear for the exam is 5th of August. So once you appear for the exam, result is out, accordingly you'll have to proceed for admission, and you'll get an admission, and according to the test you can apply for scholarships. Now coming to the last part, right? If I talk about that, there are another few important things which can be discussed, like if you want to know the details of the webinars which we have been doing in previous days also, and the upcoming webinars also. So on the same page, you need to click on this admissions. On the extreme left, you will find a tab by the name LPU's Edu-Fair Webinars. LPU's Edu-Fair Webinar, there is a link. You click on this and you will find all the webinars which have been done in the past days and the ones which are upcoming. So anybody who is interested to join the upcoming webinars, so when you click on this tab, upcoming webinars, you can see the experts here, the topic in which the webinar will be done, a specific date, and the time is mentioned. You need to register yourself from here, and you can be a part of this webinar. So it will make you understand in a better way about your program, about technologies and other things. Accordingly, you can get your queries solved. So now, last but not the least, I would request you to jot down the details here, right? Somebody who is interested to know the details through our website, I have already shared the information. The website is lpu.in. You can visit the site and get the information. Even if you have some queries, specific queries, you can drop a mail to us at admissions@lpu.co.in, and even if you want to give us a call, these are the numbers: 01824 517 000. Another number is 404404. So you can either give us a call, you can send a mail also. You need to visit the website to get your query solved. So thank you so much for your time. Wish you all the best. Have a nice day, and please rush off because days are coming very close. The last date is 31st of July. So you need to proceed for admission immediately. Thank you. Over to you, Ruby ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for the detailed information about the admission part. So, attendees, you have heard, Neeraj, sir, that last date is 31st July. So, I will suggest you that decisions determine destiny. So, decide your own date and take the admissions as soon as possible. So, with this, we'll conclude today's webinar. That's all for today. Thank you, attendees, for sparing time and participating in this webinar. We appreciate you all for being here, and I believe your knowledge has been enriched by this webinar. So also, I would like to express my appreciation to the experts for their valuable contribution to the webinar, which was entitled as Smartphone Filmmaking. I'm sure your years of research, your years of experience will definitely help the audience to choose the right path. So until next time, I, Ruby Gill, finally sign off the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.